everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Megan's View. Thank you so much for coming back this week and clicking on this video. While you're here, make sure to also hit that subscribe button up at top or wherever it's at basically, and hit that like button. And yeah, thanks for coming back and thanks for viewing. So this week I wanted to go down memory lane a bit, but in terms of shows, as you can see by the title, I want to be talking about 5 shows that didn't deserve to get canceled. I feel very passionate about these shows because yes, there were shows that I loved and watched, and I just feel like they didn't get the justice they deserve for being canceled. And I know a lot of big honcho stuff can be talked about this, where execs and stuff like that, metrics and all can be at play, but I still see the story there, and it didn't deserve to be canceled, basically, point blank, period. And I just want to talk about these shows that were like wrongfully canceled and why it was wrong, basically. So without further ado, let's just get started. So the first show I want to talk about stems from Netflix, and that is Travelers. So Travelers is a show that stems from where a program in the far future is created to, they have this technology to send consciousness from people from the future and send them back to the past, which is our present, the 21st century. And they are tasked to prevent many different events from happening, because those events are the reason why the future is so bad in the 22nd century, basically. So they are tasked by coming back to the present time and trying to prevent so many things from happening. And as you already know, that messing with time already comes with a whole bunch of technical stuff that you're not supposed to mess with the past, because you can prevent one event from happening but create a worse event to come, basically. And that's basically what happened with Travelers. But the twist with Travelers that was very unique and new was that they would send those consciousness, those beings, like actual people, these are actual people, but they would send their consciousness to the past, which was our present, by sending them to people who were getting ready to die. So they were pinpoint, they were like, basically they had like a chart of these people where they would, okay, she's healthy, this person's healthy, they have this stamina, they have this access, they have this position, and they all have their own task roles, they all have their own task and roles and positions they're going to be playing. And they they basically filter out and scout which person is getting ready to die, and then go in and take over their life, basically. And that was new and twistful of things, because I don't recall ever seeing that on the show where somebody's getting ready to die, and just right before their death, they time it out to the seconds, 30 seconds before they actually pass, they send over a conscious so it can effectively work. And that's basically what happened to a core group of strangers. This is a program that happened where they were embedded into society already, and you didn't know who was who, because they just seamlessly try to integrate into that person's life. They suffer a massive migraine, and that's just the consciousness coming in. And basically that's how they come in, regroup in our present time, which is their past, and try to fix everything. But as I said, messing with past events can affect the future in a worse way. And that's basically what happened, where they were doing that, and it made the future really worse than what it was before. So basically they had how they ended the show, the last season, was that they had to restart the whole program. And it was way more stuff that was happening, but I just can't get into it because I don't want to confuse you guys. But that's basically what happened, and I wanted to see, the viewers wanted to see how that was going to happen, because so much had led up to them just saying we have to start off the whole thing, because people who are controlling this are no longer knowing what they're doing. They had so strict rules to follow, and they kept having to break those rules and suffer major consequences, and it was just not working out for anybody, basically. So it was sad to find out that it got canceled, because so much was left up in the air, and so much could continue to stem and tell more stories about what was going on. And you know, Netflix decided to cancel it, and I'm really hurt about that, and I'm still not happy about it. It's been a few years, I want to say probably a bit more than 4 years that it has been canceled, and I'm not happy. I'm still not happy about it. Like, no, I want more Travelers. So, and that's one of the shows I feel like on this list that can be revived back, but it just hurts. It really hurts. So that was Travelers, and I'm still upset that they canceled that show. So moving on to the next show I want to talk about is from ABC Family / Freeform, but when the show was out, it was called ABC Family, and that show is Jane by Design. I love Jane by Design. Jane by Design is follows this high school girl named Jane, and she signs up to get this internship, but it's not exactly an internship. She gets a full-time job, and all her co-workers at this internship is a fashion design warehouse basically, and they all think she's a full-grown adult working to be an assistant for a major designer. And she's juggling high school life, where she's not that popular. She's like the quirky, fashion forward Jane who, you know, has her best friend, and that's her ride or die, and they go through high school together with, you know, typical high school drama. And the boy she likes, she's living with her brother because that's her guardian, and basically there's just like this typical navigation through high school life, but also she's juggling being a full-grown adult in a full-grown job. And it was just so cute to see, because it was really getting to a very good like place in the show, and they canceled it. I believe it only lasted 1 season, and that's not fair. It's not fair. Jane by Design was getting really good because she was just coming in to her, she was actually like navigating this really well. A lot of like, you know, lemons were thrown at her, and she made good lemonade with it, and she was really making it work for herself. And her best friend, who was her ride or die, ended up like being in love with her, and it was a very cute story, but she was having to choose between 2 guys, her best friend and her other new love interest that happened, and we don't know what happened because they canceled it. And back then, that happened like early 2010s. So back then, it wasn't easy to find out shows got canceled. You just never came back. And I was pretty bummed out because I was always waiting and checking. Oh my gosh, is Jane by Design coming back? Oh, it's been a minute. By now, a season 2 should be back. And, you know, figuring out later on that it got canceled really hurt, because I was still looking forward to seeing new episodes and see where Jane was gonna go. Like, it was really working for her, and y'all didn't let her continue her story. That's not cute. But we move from there. So the next show I want to talk about is from MTV, and that show is Eye Candy. Eye Candy starred Victoria Justice from Victorious, of course, and Nickelodeon and Zoe 101, all that kind of stuff. And the show was about her like looking for her sister. Her sister was kidnapped, and she's looking for her sister. She's going through all avenues, and she finds out that her sister was talking to someone online, and she believes that the person she was talking to online had a hand in her disappearance. So she stops at nothing to try to find her sister. She goes through a whole bunch of mysterious and detective work to really try to find her sister. And she had this cop boyfriend who she broke up with because, you know, her disappearance with her sister really took a toll on her, and other relationship stuff that was happening. It just didn't work out for them, but they were still like having feelings for each other, and he was still willing to help her find her sister. But then her cop ex-boyfriend ends up dying. We don't know why. And then there's this other guy who comes into the picture and tries to also help her and really like be her support system for her. And turns out that supportive guy was the guy her sister was talking to and had a hand in her disappearance, and also who killed her cop boyfriend. So that was interesting, and I'm just giving a small rundown of what the show was about because I like the premise of the show. Like, it was interesting to see where it was going. It was interesting to see Victoria Justice in this new role, because we're so used to seeing her in like very kid-friendly stuff like Victorious and Zoe 101 and other movies she was in, and this was a new take for her, and it was really interesting to see because it dealt with, you know, mystery and very much detective work. But then we end up finding out at the very end, like the last episode, that her sister did not get like kidnapped or abducted. Her sister planned the whole thing out. For what reason? We don't know, because that was supposed to be the second season, but they canceled it, MTV. How can you leave us with such a cliffhanger and expect us to be okay with about that? And that was another show that I didn't know that got canceled until later on, and I was so hurt because I was looking, I'm like, okay, I can't come back for season 2, excited. No, it got canceled after the first season. I understand viewers and all that kind of stuff could have affected it, but still. And I also feel like MTV has been strayed away from their music programming, of course, so they focus on everything else besides music, but they were more focused on reality shows. I guess that's their bread and butter now, and I feel like that show would have been better probably on Freeform or another channel, and it would have probably gotten more success, but it was on MTV and nobody decided to pick it up since then. So we, the viewers who was watching it, had to take that L, unfortunately. But anyway, and the other show I want to talk about is The Lion Game, which was also on Freeform. And The Lion Game dealt with two identical twins, Sutton and Emma, and they were, like I said, identical twins but separated at birth. Sutton went into a wealthy family and Emma was a foster child, basically, and they end up meeting up and switching roles. Basically, Emma took over Sutton's life and Sutton took over Emma's life, and Sutton wanted to go take over Emma's life because she had more free chance to go look for their birth mother, whilst Emma got a taste of, you know, being the popular girl, being in a wealthy family. But it came at a price because Sutton has so many secrets. It almost gave a Pretty Little Liars type vibe, basically. Sutton had so many secrets, so Sutton was like Allison and had so many secrets of other people in her life, and Emma had to navigate through that because this is not her life. And it was a really interesting take. A lot of big twists and turns were happening, and of course we got left on a cliffhanger because it got canceled after the third season, I believe. Once again, didn't know it got canceled until later on, and it's just heartbreaking because a lot of these shows had, like, the potential was there, the stories was there, the like suspense was there, and they never got to fulfill its final take, its final chapter, because of other factors may have factored in, and it got canceled. These shows I'm listing right now is just paining me right now because I'm like, there always will be there because you can find them online to watch, but you always wondered, I wondered what would have happened. But I believe The Lion Game was based off of a book, so you could always read the book and be like, okay, this is how it would have potentially ended. But you know, books and TV shows, they always like to change things up for a television version, and it would have been nice to see how that would have ended, and we didn't get that chance. So the final show I want to talk about is also from ABC Family, and this one was just Unjust, and it was make it or break it. Make it or break it had to do with gymnastic stars. They were teenage girls who were professional gymnasts and were, you know, working towards being on the Olympic team in the future, so they had to make it to nationals and all that stuff. But they were filled with drama because they're still teenage girls, and they weren't the normal teenage girls because they were homeschooled, having to really balance out being a teenager but being stripped away from a lot of teenage stuff they didn't get to do, and trying to be a professional gymnast, and a whole bunch of drama was happening there. And it was like one of those shows that I always loved because I always loved gymnastics, and the drama and stuff was there, and it was a good show for my time, for however old I was at that time. So it was like a good thing show for me, and I was like, ooh, the drama, and are y'all doing the most because you want to be like a teenager but you're a gymnast, and all that kind of stuff was going on. But it was really good, and they dealt with a lot of good drama, like good for viewing pleasure. Like it was that show. It didn't lack in that drama, it didn't lack in that department. But we make it to the 3rd season, and for the first 2 seasons we got like probably 18 to 20 episodes. The 3rd season we only got 8 episodes because they wanted to cancel it off, and they rushed everything. So everything that got built towards the first 2 seasons, they kind of just scrapped it and moved it on, and was just like, okay, no more parents, no more all that drama. We're now focusing on you guys, the 3 characters. It was 4 at first, now it's 3 characters that we're going to focus on, trying to make you guys go to the Olympic team. And I believe only 1 made it to the Olympic team. The other 2 pursued other avenues, and it was just like a rush story because I feel like each character was building up a good story arc, a lot of trials and tribulations that got pushed to the side, and like, we're past that now. Let's just focus on this and just rush it off. It was not cute to me, and that was just very unjust. Unjust. Okay, not cute. But what can we do? Like I said, a lot of these shows have been over for a while, so it wouldn't make that much sense to bring them back so late on. It could be a revised version, it could be a new version, but of course there's a lot of stuff that's out there that can resemble these shows, but it's not the exact show that I wanted to see how that will particularly end. We were denied that pleasure, we were denied that enjoyment, and so we had to live with it. That's what I had to live with. But that's enough ranting about gone shows. But thanks so much for watching this video. Thanks so much for coming back. And that's all I have for this video. I just have to get that off my chest as I'm continuing going down memory lane. I'm still finding out more shows that were canceled and only lasted 1 season, but they were good shows. So let me know down below what show you feel like shouldn't have been canceled, what shows you watched and feel like should come back possibly. I don't know, let me know down below in the comment section as well. And make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and come back every Sunday for more content, more videos by me. And yeah, that's all I have. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.